Hello, and welcome to Smite, the Godly Arena. Smite is a new-ish third-person MOBA game, or Dota-style game if you prefer. It doesn't really matter to me. So, I've been following this for a little bit now. Right. It's been in beta for a while. I've been following it kind of since the days of, like, them putting in god shrines and things like that, which aren't in it anymore, but it's for good reason. Now, unfortunately, my original, Hi-Rez account, the one that I actually made back during the Tribes Ascend earlier beta days, is no longer with us, so I've made a new one and have gotten up to almost level 7. And I'm ready to show this game off, I think. It's been getting a bit more attention lately, which is good. It deserves it. Smite is basically, it's very comparable to League of Legends. And I personally prefer Dota over League of Legends, but that's definitely a personal preference. But I know enough about League, I think, to make some comparisons. So there will probably be some League comparisons during this video, and it might be a bit of a long video. I'm trying to shorten my videos a bit. Not too much, but just a bit. Some of them. Because they get a little long sometimes, and, well, this one's probably going to be kind of long. This is going to be a bit of an introductory version of a Librascope to Smite. So, I suppose the first thing to talk about is its model, its business model, because of course it's free to play, like most Dota-style games. The model is extremely similar to League of Legends. Now, here you have favor. Favor is the in-game currency. This is what you earn from playing. This is influence points. And you have gems, which I have none of because I am broke. Gems would be your premium currency. This is the one you spend real money on. That background is awesome. This would be your riot points. So this game works a bit differently from League of Legends and its models. So, of course, you do have a god rotation, which of course changes every week. Just like League of Legends, there are free gods available. However, one way this differs is that you also have several that are free for everyone all the time. I think you have 5 that are free just for everyone. I believe Ra is one of them. Another thing you'll notice is, of course, there are skins. Some of them are really cool, and they change a lot of the effects of some other stuff like that. It's pretty neat. But one thing you will notice is that some of the skins you can buy with favor. Now that's a little bit different because usually in things like, say, LoL, skins can only be bought with the premium currency, but in this game, some of them can be bought with both. Not all. But usually there's at least one skin for each god that can be bought with favor. This skin is awesome. This skin is pretty cool. And one of my other favorites is this one. Yeah, that looks pretty sweet. And actually this one does look pretty awesome too. Very cool. So yeah, the work that's been put into a lot of these skins is pretty impressive. I mean, the way they change all the particle effects and everything generally is very cool. Reminiscent of like some very high quality premium skins from a few things. So these are your gods. You play as gods. You play as, some aren't quite like gods, some are more like demons. But you, your champions, as it were, your heroes, are gods. I have all of them, because I bought the Ultimate God Pack, because I'm a horrible person. Actually, it's because I wanted to play through with all of them. This is cool. You want to hop into a game, this is how you do it. So, there are tabs of modes. You have your solo practice modes, and you can actually practice in co-op if you want, which is pretty cool. And then you have your casual gameplay modes. This by definition is a bit more of a casual game than, say, Dota, because it's a bit easier to get into, but it's still very skill based, and you'll see some more of that once we get into a match, which I swear I'll do in a minute. But the way this system works, they're pretty much playlists, and each of these game modes has a separate timer. You queue, and when the timer runs down, it basically polls everyone that's queuing and sorts them into games, and the timer restarts. As you can tell, it's about a 4-minute timer on each of these that ticks down at a different time. There's an arena mode, which is basically an all-out deathmatch, 5v5. Very weird for a game like this, but actually it works pretty well. But I think there are some gods that are a bit unbalanced for this, like, say, Ares and maybe Kali. Conquest. This is your standard 3-lane, rush the towers and kill the base Dota game mode. Only there are some differences in this as well, and we'll be seeing that soon. Domination is, I guess, kind of like League of Legends Dominion. There are obelisks that you can capture. It's a capture point game mode. You capture the obelisks, and you hold them for as long as you can and reduce the enemy's tickets until you win, or lose. Assault is ARAM. It's all random, all mid. There's only one lane, and everyone on both sides is randomly assigned a god from the ones that they have unlocked. This is pretty cool. And one of the things I like is that each of these sort of arenas you're fighting in is different. Even this one could have easily just been a closed-off one-lane version of the Conquest map, but it isn't. It's a different map entirely, which is cool. Then there's also Joust, which is just a 1v1 kind of interesting thing. Can't do that until you're level 15. You can also do some pre-made and custom stuff. And then the main competitive modes you unlock at level 30, which these are, these are what you're going to be doing if you want to be real serious. Also, there's this. The match of the day. This is pretty cool. Every day this changes, and it's a neat, casual rule set type of game mode. In this case, it's your standard Conquest setup, but everyone starts with 100,000 gold. So you can start off with the build, the item build that you want, which is pretty neat. The one yesterday was ridiculous. It was an all-out tank battle. Every character you could choose from was a tank, and it was Assault. So you were randomly assigned one of the tanks from the game, and it was ridiculous. It went on for like 40 minutes, and I played it because we did so little melee damage. It was pretty interesting, but yeah, this sort of timed queuing system is really, really cool because it lessens the amount of time you're waiting, generally speaking, and it lets you know exactly when a game is going to happen, hopefully. I haven't really had a problem with not getting into a game, but occasionally if there aren't enough people playing, you might have to re-queue. But that doesn't happen to me, but I know it can happen. So I'm going to go into a match and show you a match. We're going to do a Conquest match, because that's kind of the standard mode. And for this video, I'm going to be playing... Who am I going to be playing? What's the free rotation on right now? It's still... yeah. So I'm going to be playing... that's kind of a tough question, actually, because there are several who I'd kind of like to play. To be honest. We'll play Anhur, the Slayer of Enemies. That's goofy. Alright, yeah. So, here we go. Just queue up for a Conquest match. And while this is going, I'll talk a little bit more. There is a 3-lane setup in a jungle, just like your standard Dota-style game. However, this is in third person, meaning your camera's stuck right behind your character, not in the isometric sort of top-down view that Dota-style games tend to have. That actually changes the way the game feels and the way the game plays a lot. A lot more than you might think. That means when you're running away from someone, you can't see them. That means that you don't have as much situational awareness, and you have to rely on the minimap more. And that also means every skill is a skill shot. You have to aim everything. Even your auto attacks, even melee auto attacks, you have to aim. You have to be pointing towards what you want to hit. That's pretty cool. So all of the skills, on her, as you'll see, will have a spear that he throws. So a lot of his skills involve throwing the spear, so you have to target things in a line, and people can actually move around pretty quick, so a lot of times you have to lead the target. You have to intercept them. If you just shoot directly at them, the spear isn't moving fast enough to actually hit them, they'll be moved out of the way in time. That means there's also a lot of interesting things like dodging attacks. Ra, for instance, has a solar beam that he calls down that sweeps across the ground, and that's actually, it's dodgeable. It's pretty cool. I mean, you can strafe out of the way of it, and it makes you feel kind of neat being so mobile, because Dota-style games aren't generally quite that mobile. It doesn't feel that way because you're in a fixed perspective camera farther away from your character. It feels more like you're piloting your character than that you're playing it. And with a third-person view, it feels much more like you're actually playing the god rather than piloting them. And there's nothing wrong with the isometric view. Obviously, it works very well for Dota and League of Legends and things like that. But it's just that the fact that they changed it up in this adds something to it, I think. So, here we go! Hopping into a Conquest match where hopefully we won't be destroyed. I'm not super great at this game yet. That pretty much goes with every game ever, but whatever. We're working on it. Alright, here we go. Match is ready. You also see this goodwill thing done here. If you don't leave a match, you build up goodwill. Essentially, if you don't get reported and things like that. And goodwill actually gives you a percentage of extra favor at the end of a match. I believe at 100% goodwill, you get 20% extra favor whenever you complete a match, which is neat. Alright. Anhur. I'm Anhur, slayer of enemies. So, the fact that the gods are actually gods, you know, your heroes are gods and demons and heroes from myth, is pretty cool. You have different pantheons of gods. You have Greek, Roman a bit, you have Egyptian, you have Hindu, and you have a few more coming in, like Mayan. There's one Mayan god right now. You've got even some Chinese and Norse, which is pretty awesome. I'm hoping that they'll get in maybe some Sumerian or Babylonian stuff. That would be cool. And I'd also really like to see maybe some Japanese, like some Shinto gods. I'd like to see some really cool stuff like Izanami and Izanagi and Amaterasu and things like that. I think there's a lot of possibilities for different gods they could put in. And the gods in this game all have a lot of personality. In fact, this whole game just kind of oozes personality. As you saw on the title screen there, you saw Ymir, the frost giant, giving Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, like a bear hug. And stuff like that. It's a bunch of goofiness, and that's cool. I mean, when you lose, Artemis plays her bow like a violin. And when you win, Neith, for instance, the the Egyptian weaver of fate down there, she does the Carmela dance. Yeah. So it's kind of neat. I mean, everyone has a different set of jokes and taunts and things like that, and it's just, the gods are like 120% larger than life versions of their mythological selves. Alright, so here we go. I'm spawned in, and as you can see, I already have an item up here and an ability. That's because I'm on auto buy and auto level up. That makes the game a bit more casual to a lot of people, which is fine. But one thing you will notice is that you can turn it off later. After level 6, you can turn these off if you want. Oh, I love you too, Aphrodite. And you can actually set your own custom builds and things like that from the guide system in the game, and then have the game auto-buy your skills and auto-buy your items in the order that you want, which is neat. So whenever I spawn back or return to base, it will buy whatever the next item it can afford is. We'll talk about the item system in a few. Looks like we've got a Thor and a Neith against us here. They're a little close, aren't they? I missed. Yeah, go ahead and get hit by that tower. Towers do an incredibly large amount of damage in this game. And actually, they're taunting us. As you can see, Neith has quite a personality. So they do a lot of damage, and they do more damage each time they hit you. You don't want to be taking hits from them. So towers are extremely dangerous in this game, and you really need to be pushing with minions. Where are you going? Alright, that's the return to base button there. Alright, our menus are hopefully going to be coming up now. Go ahead and smack them both. Just do a little bit of early game harassment before our minions even show up. And there they are. So we're going to be pushing now. So we've got to be kind of careful because Neith has a lot of damage potential and I don't know much about Thor. What I do know is he's about to die. Yeah! So we're going to do some farming now because we've got a huge amount of dominance in this lane since it's 2 against 1 at the moment. Oh, I missed. If I can pin her to something with that, it will stun her and we can get the kill. So I'll have to worry about that in a minute. Alright. So as you can see, this whole, the way the game works with this third-person view is a big deal. Ow. Alright, I'm gonna try and... No, I can't. She's gonna run. Alright, Thor's back.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Well, middle is already under attack. That's not good. That is less than good for sure. Oh! I'm gonna get that kill. Ah, no I'm not. That's okay. I'd rather not overextend and get killed by the tower. I'm gonna basically force him out, probably. Alright, so Shifting Sands. This is a really cool ability that spawns an obelisk that slows people down, and it actually allows me to pin them to it. If I hit them, I'm gonna just pin her to the tower if I can. If I hit them with that number 2 there, the impale, it will pin them to it. Or any other wall, but it's basically a mobile wall for use with that, which is cool. And it allows me to stun them. And also, as well as slowing them, ow, ow, alright, I need to go. As well as slowing them, it does a fair bit of, oh wow, a fair bit of extra damage from my auto attacks, which is nice. I don't want to be too far up here because these guys will kill me. Also, you'll notice backpedaling does slow you down, so you're encouraged to turn around and run like that. Or else you may get killed. Yeah. My auto attacks do a pretty large amount of damage, and this character is actually very reliant on the damage from crits and things. Alright, I'm trying to do some harassing and make sure Aphrodite doesn't die! Oh no. Alright, I need to get out of here right now.
Sorry.
This game does have a VGS system, which means you can press V and open up a list of voice commands. And you can talk to people, which is really handy. It's a lot like the command wheel in Dota 2.
An ally has been slain.
It's kind of amazing. Ow. I don't really feel safe here right now. I can stun her, but there's no way I'm gonna be able to follow it up. You know what? I need to get back right now. What? Oh! Her ult, Neith's ult, can kill you across the map. It's actually a very impressively powerful ult, but I don't think it's overpowered because it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but it can be used to finish someone off. Alright, so the items. The way the items work in this game is that there are 3 ranks of items. Essentially, of each item. There are no normal activatable items that you would think of. As you can see, I have Death's Toll. It has a passive. Basically, it's a life leech kind of passive. Next, I'm building the Warrior Tabby, and as you can see here, every item has 3 levels. The stats that the item provides you goes up on each level, and at the 3rd level, it generally gains a passive of some kind. So I need to quit wasting time and get back in lane. The versions of activatable items, or actually they're kind of similar to summoner spells from League of Legends, would be these, as you see on my Q and E down there. That's meditation on Q and E is sprint. They're items, but they're not what you would consider as normal activatable items. They're not expended when you use them, and they're basically abilities. Well, it's not going so well for us right now. I do have my ultimate, though, which allows just a ton of damage potential, and I'm under-leveled drastically. I'm not sure where Thor is. I'm kind of worried that he's going to pop out of the jungle. Alright, be careful. I don't want to just randomly be killed. Alright, I just want to get some farm and more gold and stuff like that. I need some experience because I'm under-leveled. I need to catch up. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I need to be more careful, he says as he goes too far forward. And I need to make sure that I don't get caught out. I might try to get a buff in the jungle at some point. There are various jungle mobs that give you buffs when you kill them, just like in Dota and League. The jungle works pretty much the same as you would think, even though the perspective of the game has changed significantly. Oh, Neith, you are so close to dead. But I'm not just gonna dive in there and try and kill you because I'll die. You know what? You know what? Screw it. Oh, lucky. Not getting away that easy. Ow. And I died for it. Was it worth it? Because she was a higher level than me? Probably.
Your middle tower is under attack.
But that wasn't the best play. Gotta remember that Aphrodite does not have a lot of damage potential, because that's not her role. She's more of a support. So I need to be more of a carry. Let's run back into the lane and see what we can do. I'm noticing I'm having a bit of using too much mana problem, so I might hop in and get this buff over here, but there's a fight going on and I don't want to waste time right now. I need to get back up as soon as I can and try and help out. Maybe I can get a stun.
An ally has been slain.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere, son. Alright. And you see, that's what the mini-map awareness is really good for, because he probably had no idea I was coming. The third-person perspective tells you that you've got no situational awareness when it comes to what's behind you, essentially. Alright, need to get some farm, need to help our guys out. I don't want to be targeted by the tower. Bad idea. Alright, get back to our creeps, get some more farm, try and push this tower, but Neith is going to be back in lane very soon, so don't want to be caught out. There's Thor. So I gotta be careful because that means Neith could be around here. Oh, there she is. I was about to call missing, but turns out I don't have to. Can I actually pin people against their own tower? Probably can. Alright. I don't want to get too far up, since Aphrodite is not quite here. Ow. That is a powerful stun. I'm on a sprint. Let's go ahead and lead them a bit closer to the tower, try and slow them down a little bit. Just trying to make sure that I don't get utterly destroyed. Try and dodge everything coming in. Just generally try and be annoying, but not get myself killed. Alright, let's destroy these creeps. Have some more harassment. You know you like it. I need some mana. That can be used to block people for a very short period of time. It's not near as potent a block as Ymir's wall. Oh, jumped right out of that. You are lucky. That probably wouldn't have killed her outright, but it probably would have gotten her killed by Aphrodite. Nope, back up. Don't want to get that close. I've got to be a bit careful here. I also have to land those hits. That would be very helpful. Oh, wow, that does a ton of damage. Alrighty then.
Beware the shifting sands.
You can have a slow. I'm only backpedaling because I... Uh-oh. I don't know what that is. That doesn't look good at all. Whoa! Okay. You're dead. I like how it's Silver Apple and Silver Seraphim in one lane. Alright. So we now have lane dominance. I'm gonna kill Neith. Don't even care. Alright. Thank you, Poseidon. Alright, let's get that so we can get a little bit of farm. That slows them down and makes me do more damage to them, etc. We need to get up to that tower as best we can, because we are not going to have a lot of time here. Aphrodite is doing an extremely good supporting job right now. Alright. Start smacking that tower. Thor is coming back into lane very soon, but his ultimate is on cooldown, which is nice to know. Let's smack you back a little bit. Let's get that obelisk going. That's a very nice slow. It lasts for quite a while, and the fact that they do more damage when they're in it is a positive thing indeed. Alright, just checking my attack speed because I need to get more familiar with it. I actually could use a bit more attack speed. Alright, we can actually just harass this tower, I think. You get pushed back. That's gonna kill me, isn't it? Wow, that does a lot of damage. Alright, I am underestimating Thor's damage potential. He is much more powerful than I thought. Okay. This is actually going to be a bit of a tough lane because Neith is also very powerful. Her attacks can do a lot of damage, so having both of them like that is a problem, but Neith is quite squishy. I don't know about Thor, but I know Neith is... she goes down fairly easily. Alright, back into lane. I got rank 3 of the boots, and I've got some Devourer's gloves now. Starting on them. So, as you can see, the way the game works is very much like Dota, very much like League of Legends. The third-person perspective changes a lot, but it's still the same basic game. Which is, I mean, it's a good thing. You really don't want anything different. You don't want, more than likely, huge amounts of changes that just screw up the whole formula because it's trying to be a MOBA game, and the only difference it wants is that third-person perspective and the fact that you're fighting gods. Crap. Alright, I've got my ultimate ready and I can probably kill one of them if necessary. My ultimate just does ridiculous amounts of damage if I can hit them with it. And like I mentioned earlier, this character is extremely reliant on crit. Alright. Killed him. There we go.
An enemy has destroyed a middle enemy tower.
Alright, go. Push, 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 push. You're stunned. Oh, you jumped out of the stun, you lucky. Neith is getting extremely lucky this match. That stun would have just absolutely got her killed. Now. Alright, I'm gonna just go ahead and pop this potion. Harass this tower, which is more important than getting the kill. Harass the crap out of the tower. Don't care about hurting Neith right now. Just want this tower dead. Alright. Just like you would think, if you attack an enemy god under the tower, you get targeted by the tower. Shoot. Screwing this all up. Alright. Yes. Gotcha. And that is why that system is extremely handy. Alright, she's asking me to get back. I'm going to listen to her because she is intelligent. Alright. You know what I should probably go back to? And we can both just run right back. I could use the health. Alright. Alright. I'm going to go back now so our lane doesn't get pushed horribly. I'm actually going to sprint back into lane because I don't want that to happen. So, the way the gods work is very interesting. There are enough of them, I think. Enough pantheons available to provide a really fair amount of variety. Wow. I'm gonna go ahead and give chase because I can actually catch her with this.
An ally has been slain.
Ugh.
Your left tower has been destroyed.
There we go.
You have slain an enemy.
Yeah, Thor is not squishy. What I would like to do is pin him up against something. Uh-oh. Well, giving us a chance to get these buffs isn't the worst thing ever. Might as well. Alright. Let's go back and destroy this tower. I will tank it, I don't care. There we go. Nice.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
Alright, they are no longer very safe. Crap. I need to get better aim with that drastically soon.
An enemy has been slain.
No, you don't.
An enemy has
That just does so much damage. Uh-oh, I'm getting targeted by a tower.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice. Uh-oh. That ult. And that is what that is for. Looking back can get you killed, he says as he looks back. Alright, I'm gonna dodge into the jungle. Oh, nice. Alright, this is going alright for us.
Destroyed a right enemy tower.
Alright, I'm going back to base. Gotta finish off those gloves so I can start getting creep kill stacks on them and start on the Titan's Bane. So, are you getting the idea? Are you getting the idea of how awesome this game is? As you can see, the base towers are actually phoenixes. The phoenix is the kind of like the inhibitor in League of Legends, I suppose, or like the barracks. It makes your creeps more powerful. It gives them flaming weapons, and it gives them actually a lot of attack power and things like that. Alright, coming in for a gank here.
An ally has been slain.
That did not work like I hoped it would. But I can do this. Put out a silly amount of damage and kill Thor.
Your middle tower
He
is
says
under
as he
attack.
fails to kill Thor.
Your middle tower
Alright,
has been
our mid
destroyed.
just got destroyed, which is less than good. We want our creeps to push forward because we can push that tower hard. Get stunned. Ah, man, she was getting really lucky with that. But I don't want to overextend. I gotta not get greedy about the kill, because if I do, I'll die. That is a problem I have in Dota-style games, and I can't let that happen. Since this is only one game mode, I will be showing you others. Obviously not in this video, because I don't want it to be 3 hours long, but I will be showing you more game modes than this. The arena game mode is actually quite a lot of fun, and the assault game mode is pretty interesting as well. Alright. I'd like to call missing, actually. It's VF1.
Missing left.
Let's just let them know, because they aren't dead, they're just gone for some reason. Alright. Oh! That would be why. Mega gank. Alright.
An ally
Crap.
has been slain. Sorry.
That is less than good. I didn't want to waste my ultimate there because it wouldn't have gotten a kill and I would have just died. And that's not really that helpful. Alright, I'm going back. So all of the gods have win and loss screens that sort of accentuate their personalities, and they all actually even have their own back animations when you press B and go back. There's so much personality in this game. As you can see, the Phoenix is pretty awesome, and it is a Phoenix, so it's reborn from its own ashes. In other words, it doesn't stay down forever. And instead of an ancient or a fountain or whatever, you get a Minotaur that actually kills everyone. It's crazy. There's a Minotaur in the field. Sorry, I was watching the mini-map there, is why I was being quiet. I'm just trying to make sure I knew where the enemy was before I rushed in here. The Minotaur does damage. I mean, that's not something that happens in standard Dota-style games. Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away, Thor. I suddenly noticed that he was missing, and I was guessing he's probably going to duck into there. Alright, it looks like we're needing some help right. So I'm not just going to sit here and do nothing. I'm going to go right and help. The map is actually very pretty, in my opinion. They've changed it a lot since I first played. And it's really quite something. And in my opinion, the graphic style of this game is very interesting. It's cartoony, kind of, but not like League of Legends.
Your right tower is under attack.
Shoot. It's I feel very useless right now. It's colorful and bright and vibrant, and that fits the whole theme of this game with the fact that the gods have just crazy awesome personalities and things like that. Alright, I'm going to get this damage buff and go gank Thor. Sounds like a plan. Good, let's go. Alright. So I'm doing pretty silly amounts of damage right now. By virtue of that damage buff. You are so dead. Oh yeah. Nice. Very nice. Alright, so now we can clear out this creep wave and push the crap out of this lane. Let's do this. Just take advantage of my damage boost while I have it and push this as hard as we can because they are on their last tower on this lane and it's at like half health. So, I mean, you know, it'd be a good time. Uh-oh. Well, Neath is on right, it looks like, so I'm okay with pushing this right now. Let's just go. Let's just do it. Earlier, I probably should have just pushed the lane instead of trying to go and help and being useless. I'm still getting used to map awareness and what's needed when. Like, I need to get used to where I need to be at what time, and instead of just wandering around doing absolutely nothing. Nice. Alright, if Aphrodite's going back, then I'm going back too. We should probably go help now. Now that we did that, now we can help. I'm going to follow Aphrodite because she's being extremely helpful. She's actually been a really good support this match. I'm very happy with her performance, and I'm alright with mine, but I could be doing better. I need to get better aim with his 2 attack and better positioning with his obelisk. Alright, my ult's ready, so we're going to gank the crap out of these guys. It's going to be pretty funny.
Your right tower is under attack.
There we go. Oh, hi there, Kali. Just trying to kind of block her off from that way and make sure she's dead. Alright. Nice. Yeah. Feeling good. Feeling good. And that is one of the prime awesome things about this game. The satisfaction that you get. Because of this very heavy impact, high speed playstyle with this third person perspective, you are ridiculously powerful feeling. Which is good. I mean, you're a god. You're supposed to be powerful feeling. Come on. So that's really cool. The way it makes you feel, the way it's so satisfying to land that skill shot and to get the lane pushed up and just start murdering dudes. It's really cool. The way you feel is great. And I've not actually felt this satisfied with kills in a MOBA since I first started playing Dota 2. And I think it's actually even more satisfying. Alright, we're moving in and going to attack this Minotaur now. We've got to be careful. Alright. Let's get totally... Alright. I got absolutely murdered there. As you can see, the Minotaur is very powerful. Not like the Ancient that sits there and gets beaten on. The Minotaur kicks your ass. Repeatedly. And that's exactly what happened. Well, that was still a really good push, though.
An ally has been slain.
Just checking some of the commands. Alright. Aphrodite is credit to team. I'm just gonna go ahead and compliment her. You are the best Aphrodite I have seen played right now. No sarcasm. Like, I've never seen an Aphrodite actually played that well. It's impressive to me. Even though this is low-level gameplay, I think she's really good.
Your right tower has been destroyed.
Alright, we lost a tower, which is unfortunate. But they lost 2 and a Phoenix. So honestly, I'm not that upset about what just happened there. We should probably push mid, shouldn't we? Alright, we're gonna have to defend. Yeah.
Okay.
Let them know I know what's going on. See the crazy, ridiculous amount of damage we do. It's great. I love it. Alright, yeah, we just cleared that out hardcore. I'm not gonna waste my ult right now. Now I am. Oh, they actually killed me. That is really surprising. I was not paying attention to my health. I thought I was actually alright. Whoops.
An enemy has been slain.
That was my fault. I should have not been up there with low HP like I was. Because their damage potential is very high as well. Alright, Kali just got a buff. That is the speed buff, I believe.
An enemy has been slain.
Which is really good for Kali because she is basically like Ursa from Dota. She roams around, ganks the crap out of people, and does ridiculous amounts of damage, gets up close, slices them to pieces, and they're dead. Complimenting your teammates is always a good idea. And another thing I see often in this game is something that Dota has a problem with, which is people giving up too early. Now this game does have a surrender system like League, but in Dota, you have no surrender, but people tend to give up sometimes, and you can actually make some crazy comebacks in Dota. And in Smite, it's the same way. You can actually do some pretty nuts stuff and make lots of comebacks.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy Phoenix.
Alright, so are we going to have to... Yeah, alright, we're going to assault right, it looks like, so I'm going up there. As you can see now, our minions in the right lane, because they destroyed the Phoenix, they have flaming weapons. It's pretty awesome. I wouldn't mind to get that damage buff, but it doesn't look like it's... Oh, yes it is. Alright. I'm going as fast as I can, and hopefully when Kali gets there, everything will be lovely. Really, just 2 of them in there, they're not going to be able to take the Minotaur down. It doesn't matter how well fed they are. The Minotaur is just too powerful. Combined with the fact that that's their base and they're going to be spawning in there, there's no way. So I need to get there as fast as I can to help. Oh, he says, gosh. Stun locked to eternity here. Alright. Let's get some damage. Hey, not bad, not bad. That Kali is a destroyer of worlds. trying to keep them away. Oh. Trying. Dang it. Oh, no. Oh, we just got destroyed right there. That was not good.
An ally has been slain.
That was not good at all.
Defend right lane.
Poseidon looks like a lot of fun to play. Alright. So, it's going to be a while before we're back up. And this could get messy. Our Phoenix might go down here. Poseidon and Kali together have a lot of stunning and damage potential, but there's 4 of them. So, yeah. Wow, this is actually really good defense. There goes Neith getting really lucky with that backflip again. Crap. I mean, they're doing it very well. Seriously? Wow, yeah, that worked. That worked. I've just finished my Deathbringer, which adds to my crit damage. So I'm getting lots of crits and doing lots of damage when I get those crits. That's what Anhur is about. I'm not going to steal that kill. They've got it.
An enemy has been slain.
Alright. Are we going to push mid or what? Looks like we might. Left. Alrighty. The dragon in League of Legends, the one that gives you lots of money, as well as the Ancients in Dota, has a version in this game as well, which would be the Gold Furies, which give your entire team 300 gold when you kill them. And Roshan, or what is it in League of Legends? Baron Nashor, I believe? Yeah, it's like Roshan spelled backwards with the S and the H flipped. He has a version in this too, which is the Fire Giant. Kill the Fire Giant, get golden experience, and your entire team gets a boost in physical and magical power. So yeah. It is a complete MOBA or Dota style game package. In a third-person perspective, it's different in lots of really good ways, and it's awesome. I love it. I'm actually having a ton of fun with it. It is more casual than something like League of Legends or Dota, because it's easier to get into, the whole auto level up and auto buy thing until you're level 6, and things like that. But people seem to believe, for some reason, that casual is synonymous with bad. It is not. Casual does not mean bad, it just means it's easier to get into. There's still a competitive scene for this game, and there is still plenty of hardcore players that love it. And it's less stressful to mess around in than Dota or League, and laddering in it is not quite as awful. Like, it's a lot less stressful, so there's that. Crap, I missed with that. That was bad. Let's get that in there to give us a little bit of an advantage. He says as he gets stuck in Hebo's wave. Die, Hebo. Die. There we go. We really should be pushing, but I don't want to die. Okay, I've been targeted by a Phoenix. Don't want that. I can probably just kill Neith outright. Nice. Alright, go. Kill that Phoenix. There we go.
Your team has destroyed a left
Alright.
Phoenix.
Looks like we're going for it. Let's go ahead and pop that in there to give ourselves a bit of advantage. Let's go ahead and do some other crazy stuff. Yeah, this was a good game. Even if we don't quite get it yet, yeah, we got it. Nice.
Good game.
That was awesome. That was the best team I've ever had in this. It was awesome. Like, that was fantastic. Alright, and there we go. That was a match. Again, long video, apologies. So, your first one of the day gets you 100 favor, and whenever you level up, you get 500. I got 79 from that, and 22 bonus from the Goodwill bonus. So let's check the stats here. I actually died way too many times, but I wasn't doing bad. That Aphrodite was credit to team, and that Kali was a monster, which is how Kali should be played. So there you go. And one more thing, as you can see, the whole first one of the day thing happens with each game mode. So you can play each game mode and get the first one of the day in each of them. That's pretty cool. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed your look at Smite. I know this is a bit of a long video, but that's just how MOBA games go. I will be showing you more game modes soon, and if you have any requests for gods that you'd like to see played or covered, or certain game modes or whatever, feel free to tell me. I have all the gods, so I will gladly play them for you if you want to see them, if you're curious. And the Ultimate God Pack, which is what I bought, is only 30 bucks. It gives you all of the current gods and all of the future gods' breasts. So, there you go. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little look at Smite. Little, he says. And I will go edit this monstrously long video together now. I will see you next time. Blood Eagle Thor. Shazbot.